Just a few. Just right near where I shot mine last night, and there's hundreds. Although I don't think there's a single bull in there bigger than the one I got. Hello there and welcome back to Bullets for Bucks. My name's Stephen Bresnaugh, and today we're public land elk hunting in the rifle season in Wyoming. Now, this is my big tag of the year. It's a limited quota tag on public land, and man, I gotta tell you, it's starting off exciting. Yesterday I had a bunch of setbacks setting up camp, so I got a very late start, and unfortunately there's a couple people probably already in my area. However, driving in on my four-wheeler to get into the hiking spot, about 60 head, maybe more, of elk, including at least 2 6x6s, possibly at least 2 or 3 5x5s, and a couple raghorns and spikes, ran by me at 20 yards about 15 minutes before legal hunting light. They took. So I've made it about a mile to a mile and a half in here. Now, generally speaking, I don't make a decision like this, but given the wind in my favor, the weather, overcast, fog, snow, and whatnot, I decided to cut these tracks instead of like basically cutting them off and glassing to where I thought they would go and then making a play, which is normally what I do. And that might have been the smarter thing to do, given especially that I'm already exhausted from yesterday. But I come down into this valley because in the mornings the thermals tend to sink unless the wind overpowers them. And then as the day heats up, the thermals rise. And so in the mornings, you generally want to hunt low, below the elk. And in the afternoon, evening, you want to hunt above the elk or across. So as you can see, there's these open parks, and usually these elk will come out of these pines when the day heats up, when the air gets warmer, and when they feel a little safer. And by the way, I opted for the Athlon Argos G2 UHD binos over the Vortex Diamondback HD binos that I have. I actually compared the glass, and the glass is just plain better in these. And I really like my Vortex, but it's just better in these. Alright folks, so I've sat here for maybe an hour or so. It doesn't appear that these elk are going to come out of this timber anytime soon, which doesn't surprise me at all. I'm going to head up on the ridge behind me so that I don't put them downwind from me, because if I go on the opposite ridge, the ridge I'm glassing, I will certainly blow them out if they're in that timber, or maybe not get them out of the timber, but I'll let them know my presence, put it that way. So I'm going to head up. So we were dealing with about 18 degrees, 20 mile an hour winds, and blizzard-like conditions, on and off blizzard-like conditions, steady snow showers. In here we can see a little ways, but the fog and snow and whatnot keeps moving through. Sometimes it gets to where you can barely see, and then it opens up. Since that first group of elk, I have not relocated any elk. Now, I four-wheeled in a couple miles, and then we hiked probably only about a mile to an open area where I've previously seen and even shot elk. Now the wind has died down a little, the snow's died down a little, but we have tons of overcast, and we still have like a ton of fog moving through. So visibility is maybe 200 yards, 300 tops, and it varies. So tough conditions to hunt in. We can't really glass from normal areas to spot them before we go in, so we kind of just set up where we are hoping they will go through or have been in the past. All right, so we're getting near the end of hunting time here. I do have some time left, but I need to make sure I can get out. This snow can drift really quick, really deep, and I need to be able to get out with my four-wheeler and with my truck. So I need to make sure and get on that before it gets too late. I'm not seeing any activity, so I can still hunt a little bit on the way out. You know, chances are slim. Hope you enjoyed this day number 1 though, elk hunt. Look forward to opening. All right, folks, so day number 2, rifle elk on public land here in Wyoming. It's a brisk morning, probably about 18 degrees, maybe a little cooler. I'm at about 9,000 feet to 8,900 to like 9,200 feet roughly where I'm hunting. Saw plenty of elk, especially at last light. I was not expecting that. I basically called it. It was like a blizzard almost on top of the ridge. Got off, cleared up beautifully for the last hour. Saw lots of cow elk. Probably could have taken a cow if I really wanted to, but I'm trying to hold out for at least a couple days for a bull if I can. Saw a whole bunch of bulls on a ridge, but it was too far out for me to make a play that late in the evening. Now I'm set up and I'm glassing these south and southeast facing ridges to see if I can spot some elk and then make a play on them. Guys, I got about 3 or 4 cows in front of me, so I can't make another move. There should be about 100 to 150 head of elk on the other side of this park, but I'm too exposed to make a move until those cows move. I hiked in about 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles, and this is like elk central right here. I might end up having to just tough it out a whole day and just sit tight, because I have a feeling. Pointing. I saw 4 cows walking into the timber. Could have shot one, but I want to at least get a 5x5 raghorn or something. And I'm about 2 miles in, and right after they went in the timber, 7 hunters come out, just busting right through the pasture. So they'd apparently been here since before light and just been sitting and looking over 100 elk all morning. And then I guess one of them shot at a 6x6 once or twice and missed. Saw some really fresh black bear tracks on the way in. That was kind of cool. Saw a moose on the way in. Was trying to make it really fast in here, so that's why you're not seeing any footage of the animals, unfortunately, because I'm trying to get on elk. But I did not know there was a very nice road. You can't drive down it, but you can walk down it. That goes for miles back in here. So if I'd known that, I would have come in here this morning and probably. All right, folks, so after literally sitting here so that I would be the first person or the only person in this area, after literally sitting here in freezing cold weather, wind and snow for, I think, 6 hours so far. Wait, 3, no, it's been more than that, about almost 7 hours till prime time. And I had 2 people come in below me, but they saw me and left. I don't know if these are the same 2 people. If they are, they need a lesson on hunter's etiquette. They clearly marched up to the edge of this clearing I'm at. Looked right at me multiple times with binoculars over and over and over again. Obviously, I was sitting here before they even walked up, and they walked up, and I was sitting here looking right at them, only like 100 yards away. And they are just insistent upon, I guess, just sitting there and staying there instead of moving to another area. So I've never experienced hunting pressure like this while elk hunting ever, for one. And for 2, you'd think that they had a little bit of etiquette and move off. But kind of ridiculous. If you see somebody in a spot 100 yards away and they were clearly sitting before you walked in, probably don't come in. Go to a different spot. But they have clearly... All right, folks, so those people moving basically into my spot and sitting there pretty much ruined all my evening plans and probably took away any chance of me getting an elk this evening. But I'm going to move along so I moved myself to another part of the park, of the clearing, where it's kind of turns, so that I kind of had my own little patch and hopes that they would come out on that end and I'd have an opportunity to get one. Another thing is think about it. If you park across a field at 100 yards or 200 yards from somebody, and they're hunting that field. And you're glassing their tree line. So does that mean you're going to shoot in their direction too? I mean, good Lord. Anyhow, I'm going to trace the tree line, and there's a couple little open areas on the other side. I'm going to kind of glass those. I'm going to work the ridge at dusk and see if I can spot something, because I don't. All right, folks. So end of day 2, public land elk hunt in rifle season. Didn't actually see any elk in my sit. A lot of hunters around. Just overall kind of a bad day, but hopefully tomorrow's better. Stay tuned. Well, folks, welcome to day number 3, public land elk in Wyoming. As you can see, we are getting a lot more snow and visibility is quite low. In fact, it varies from 75 yards to probably 800, but it is steadily snowing. About 500 feet below me, it's actually not very snowy, but I'm not seeing any elk down there, so I'm still hanging up high, hoping they come through this area here. This snow has hopefully not pushed down all the elk, but it's definitely pushed down about 90% of the hunters, maybe even more. There are still some here and there. In fact, I walked in on a basically what looks like an abandoned logging trail that has a posted sign that says, you know, no motorized access unless it's a snowmobile. And of course, somebody looks like maybe in here and driving out right now in a side-by-side, which would be the second time in 2 days. 2 opportunities on elk have been basically completely messed up by other hunters. So we'll see what happens. The good news, the bad news is the weather is really bad. I can hardly see and it's not letting up, and I'm cold and I'm wet. The good news is that the weather's bad and it pushed out a ton of people. And so hopefully there's elk that will be pushed back up here, or still elk up here. Boy, I tell you what, this elk hunting isn't for the faint of heart. I'm solo hunting. The first day I had a guy with me part of the day, deer hunting. But I've been solo hunting ever since, and here I am only about 2 miles in, but snow's piling up fast. On the way out, I'll probably be walking through at least a foot. That can be tough. I didn't bring my snowshoes. Whew. Man, I hope this pays off. Oh my gosh, I got him. Oh my God, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. I know, probably, you know, taking chances shooting him better, but man, you don't know what I've been through. And yeah, I just kept drilling him. I wanted that thing anchored. I got him. I can't believe I got him. He's laying down right up here. Oh my gosh, I got him. Public land DIY solo. I'm like 2.5, 3 miles in, snowstorm. It's gonna be a pain to get him out, but oh my gosh, I got him. I think it's a 6x6 or a good 5. What's going on here? Oh my gosh, I walked right by him. I was so excited. Oh my goodness, he's not as big as I thought, but I drilled him perfect. He's already dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He is a 6 point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my gosh. Guys, you don't know. This is the culmination of 6 years of learning how to hunt. I tucked it in his back quarter so it would go through. Oh, it was a little far back. I know, guys. A little bit of heat in the moment there. And yeah, he'd be like a Raghorn 6. But to me, he's the biggest 6 that ever lived. And look, I mean, I shot him.
Yeah, I just shoot him farther back. I shot him on purpose. Actually, that's the exit. No, that's right. I shot him so that it would go into his chest. Looks like it worked. I mean, he didn't even, there was his bed. There he lay. He died instantly, pretty much. I mean, it hasn't even been 5 minutes since I killed him. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. Here we are, guys. My 2020 public land DIY 6x6. I mean, this barely might count as a 6, but I don't care. I'm calling it a 6x6, 5x6. It doesn't matter. I'm ecstatic. This marks a big point in my hunting. In the last 6 years, I've been working for this on public land, solo hunting. Could not be happier. The old Howa 300 PRC HS Precision did the trick. First shot, and it was a bedded. I know some people have different views about being bedded or not, but hey, I can tell you if they're not moving, if they're bedded. So one shot, he dropped like a tank. Actually, he didn't drop. He just rolled over, literally didn't even get up, and could not be happier. We got about a foot of snow. Well, it's going to be a foot. It's probably 10 inches right now. What's funny is right behind me, not even 20 yards, is where I set up and camped out and had a fire literally for 10 hours waiting for this elk to come out. And then some other hunters came in, and one of them shot at it and missed. And then I guess he missed the day before on the same one. I can't believe he was back for the 3rd day in a row. But anyhow, I could not be happier. I am so happy, thank God. And the 300 PRC did great. First time ever using it. Stay tuned. Remember to like and subscribe. Check out my other hunting and shooting videos.